Now, interestingly enough, Jesus is portrayed as an example for Polycarp's readers to follow in their life. And I think this is an overlooked aspect in early Christian teaching, which plainly demonstrated and displayed Jesus, the human Jesus, as the model for how the readers of the New Testament are supposed to live. Now, God the Father is never portrayed as the model that we're supposed to live by. It's always Jesus. Always the human being Jesus lived a life that is meant to spur on his followers as an example how they're supposed to live and act. So take, for example, what Polycarp says in chapter 8, verse 2, where he says, "Therefore, we should be imitators of his endurance." Jesus endured in his life, ultimately dying on the cross. And Polycarp expects his Philippian readers to imitate the endurance of Jesus. A little bit later in that same verse, he says, "For he," Jesus, "set this example for us through what he did, and we have believed it." So they should be imitators of Jesus, and Jesus has set an example. Here's another passage. In chapter 10, verse 1, Polycarp says, "Follow the example of the Lord." Jesus is portrayed as someone that you can follow, that you can imitate, and his life is something that is tangibly able to be modeled after for Christians. They are Christ followers. And it's very interesting to see that the Christology of Jesus that Polycarp has portrays Jesus as someone who lived a life that is able to be followed and imitated.